Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. It is Monday, and we are going to talk about Trump and crypto and Cardano and Bitcoin and basically what I see coming this month of May. We're April 29th. We're about 12:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm hoping I don't get a bunch of problems with my stream. Let me take a look. Okay, so far it looks fine, so we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully I don't get a lot of streaming issues. It looks like the last video that I did cut out. I stopped the video after I was done speaking, but I think because of a lot of the drop frames and everything I was getting, somehow it consolidated all of the gaps and put it all into one and then stopped it short. So it is what it is. I will start off this video by saying that L from Twitter sent me a nice message, basically saying he watched the video that I had done recently and that he wasn't aware, I guess, that like how I was brought into the conversation, and I don't know if he just assumed I was going to be adversarial, or I don't know what he thought. He obviously doesn't know me very well. I don't go around looking for trouble or clout on the internet, but yeah, he did apologize for the way he handled that discussion and muting the shit out of me and, you know, insulting me and everything else. So I will give him credit for that. Thank you, L, for sending me that message. Man, I don't ever go anywhere trying to stir up shit. And, you know, realistically, everybody has an opinion, and all of our opinions may vary, and that's okay. That is what causes conversation. If we lived in a world where we all agreed with each other, I feel like it would be a very dismal place. I mean, seriously, just look at the left. I'm joking, but, you know, seriously, everything is so crazy all the time. And, you know, we can never really solve problems or really answer. We can never find solutions to things if everybody was in a constant agreement. We would never move anywhere. So it is what it is. I'm noticing that chat, like the viewers, everything's kind of lagging. Maybe it's the title. Everybody's like, what's he talking about? I don't want to hear about that. But anyway, we're going to go over it anyway, because I think we're going to look at Trump's first 100 days. And because I think that there's a narrative being put out there that is kind of wrong. So it's just really not accurate. I didn't even read the whole thing. I figured I'd go over it live. May, I do believe, is going to be a really, really big month. You know, whether we have some sort of peak out in May and then we sell and May go away, and then, you know, we kind of move forward with some downward sideways activity, we get a drop. I don't really know, but I do think that May is going to be pretty significant for a multitude of reasons. And yeah, and you know what? And I want to put this out there as well as the D rep for many of you. You know, I'm seeing a lot of debate on a lot of these proposals. Net cash limit and all this stuff, all these limits that people want to put on the treasury spending. And I'm like, okay, I kind of get it, especially where we're at in the market right now. You know, a lot of these projects that are submitting proposals, I feel like they're doing so, they're submitting these proposals asking for like 1 million ADA to do like XYZ, and they're basing it off of like a 50 or 60 cent price of ADA. And like, we all know where we're at in the market. Like, we're not idiots. And like, I'm in a position right now where we're in 2025. We're at an extremely pivotal point in the market cycle overall. And, you know, I don't really care what Charles or IOHK needs to get things done. I want to see Laos drop. I want to see Basho complete. I want to see all these things. We've got midnight coming. We have so much stuff coming. And these are all things that are basically from IOHK, right? And, you know, I'm not about to cut the nose of IOHK off because what they want is seemingly a lot. In favor of, you know, a slew of wannabes, hopefuls, pipe dreamers, scammers, cash grabbers that are all going to try and sell me on some idea that they're going to build something for amount of money that ultimately, in my opinion, is like 10 times the cost. It's like, it's okay if we do divvy up the treasury to a bunch of, whoever, on the hope that they're going to build a bunch of stuff that helps the ecosystem. That's okay in the eyes of some people, but because Charles is a political voice, because Charles, stands on business when it comes to a lot of the chaos in the world and his own opinions, that somehow that we need to limit him, and we need to limit IOHK, basically the creators of everything that brought us to Cardano. Just all of it seems nonsensical to me. And like, honestly, 2025 to me is like IOHK's year. And, if some other projects that we feel, or that I feel, may actually do something, maybe they have a track record, that's a pretty good thing, then yeah, cool. If they fit in the budget, that's cool. But yeah, I'm not cutting IOHK's nose off just because, especially where we're at in the market. 2026 bear market, absolutely cool. At that point, then we can start. I'm not going to vote in favor of any proposal that to me looks disingenuous or doesn't take into account the fact that we are where we are in the market cycle, and they're asking for like 7 figures of ADA, knowing it's probably going to be like $3 to $8 million and within a year. You know what I mean? To build something that probably only costs, maybe a few $100,000 at best. No, it's not happening. And not only that, I'm not sure how. I'm still learning. I'm still learning about how a lot of this stuff works. I read some of these proposals, and a lot of it is just, it uses a lot of terminology and things that I'm still trying to wrap my head around. And and it's like, I'm not sure, like, if somebody submits a proposal and says we need to limit this and change that and all that, I'm not, what if you don't vote for that? Like, is it just nobody gets anything? And it's like, there's still things that I need to really wrap my head around. And some of it's basic. It's just, I don't read every freaking proposal put out there, because to me, a lot of it's garbage. I'm sorry. It's just how it hits me. And so I haven't been spending a lot of time. I want IOHK to finish what was started. And yes, is it finished? Yes, the blockchain works and all that. Sorry, I've got like nose tickling my hair. But that's just basically where I'm at. And I want to see proposals that have milestones. And like, if somebody submits a proposal and they say, you know what, Cardano's at $1 right now, but it's probably going to go to $3. We're going to base this off of, well, we need like, $500,000 to complete the project. So let's average the value of ADA. And based on this valuation, we need this many ADA, and we're willing to accept it over the course of a year, broken up into quarterly milestones. And if we don't meet these projected milestones, it's all laid out right here in our plan, then we don't get anything else, and we have to finish it on our own. To me, that is the only way I'm going to vote for any project to get funding, just so you know. Because if you don't know at all what it's going to cost, and you don't have a really strong grasp of like what it takes to develop on Cardano and like what you're going to be capable of, well, I'm not going to fund your experiment. I mean, that's just the way I look at it. When we already have a tried and true group that's building a lot of the primary things we need, and like, let's face it, like, it's just, to me, this isn't about a crapshoot anymore. We saw that in 2017, and how did that go? We saw that in 2021, not as much, but we still saw it. Where are all those projects? I'm over that shit. You are going to be accountable for what you try to get public funding for through the Cardano treasury. Just because it's not coming out of my pocket or other people's pockets directly doesn't mean I'm going to be any less stringent on who gets what. I'm not about funding a bunch of grifters trying to create cash cows for themselves and game the system. Sorry, this isn't Project Catalyst. I'm like, yeah, I'm just not playing into that. So just know that moving forward, because I just won't even touch the proposals. I don't necessarily, I don't know. Do I need to vote no on everything? Do I need to sit here and vote no on all the bullshit? That's something that maybe Charles can answer for me. That's just where I'm at. Like this year, 2025 into 26, to me, it's about IOHK. Sorry if you don't like that, but that's where I stand. And, you know, if there are some legitimate projects that don't look like they're grifting or trying to turn this treasury into a cash cow so that they can go party on yachts and have launch parties and just waste all the fucking money while, you know, other people are trying to build legitimate projects that can't seem to get funding. Yeah, I'm not down for that. I'm not down for that. That to me, that was Project Catalyst. And I think Project Catalyst I just think a lot of it was bullshit. So I just wanted to put that out there so that it's just widely known that that's how I roll when it comes to like what I vote on. We're 100 days into the second Donald Trump presidency, giving us an opportunity to assess how cryptocurrency has benefited or suffered under his oversight. So this to me was funny. I'm going to show you guys this. This is like an animated graph that shows like price valuations depending on the presidencies. And it's funny because it puts Biden at the top. And obviously Trump's second term, you know, at a deficit, right? And what was happening under the Biden administration? Can we just be honest about this? Bitcoin as an asset was growing in value, sure, but the blockchain companies that were trying to excel in the space and expand on Bitcoin offerings and other altcoin offerings and other layer one blockchains, etc., were getting debunked, debanked, shut down, sued out the ass. I mean, like, to try and credit the Biden administration for Bitcoin's growth during that market cycle, to me is one of the most laughable sentiments I've ever seen. And I don't know who wrote this shit. I would love to look them up and find out by Protos staff. So this is just a group of people at Protos. Like, I already know where this article's going, but I figured I would save it for everybody and discuss what their like finer points are. Despite the vocal support he's given the asset, Bitcoin has fallen during this Trump term, losing approximately 6% of its value since his inauguration. Perhaps even more striking, during Joe Biden's time as president, BTC had appreciated significantly by this point in the term. Despite many cryptocurrency industry participants believing Biden's administration had unfairly targeted the industry. It very much was. I would love to see if they have an argument to that. During the first 100 days of Biden's terms, BTC appreciated by more than 50%. Even Trump's first term, when he's still... So what is one of the biggest things that's happening now that was not happening then? Whether it's Biden's term or Trump's term. The institutions at play. We are now, like, they were all silently entering the markets, right? Like, while they were yelling at us, telling us to stay away and not touch it, and you can't touch it if you work here, blah, blah, blah. They were all loading up and they were building their own investment vehicles to accomplish all sorts of things. And, you know, now, because they all have all these ETFs that didn't exist then, I believe there's heavy manipulation in the market right now. And I even watched... and you know, a part of me thought, I wonder if this is a political manipulation or a combination of maybe that and like the institutions trying to keep the Bitcoin price down as they accumulate for their ETFs before they basically pull off the governor and let the car go as fast as it can, because that's the way I see it. I even watched a video recently with Michael Saylor talking about how they were buying $200 million worth of Bitcoin an hour. And there were people selling over $200 million worth of Bitcoin per hour at the same time, keeping that price from moving. And so when someone like Michael Saylor is saying, yeah, there's something weird happening here, this isn't just, oh, Trump is bad for crypto because since he got into office, look at what's happened. This is a narrative. And I feel like this narrative is such bullshit. Because when you look at the flip side and what's actually happening behind the scenes, it paints a very, very different picture as to why what's happening is happening. And to be honest, I'm going to just put this out there and say, I almost look at what's happening right now as, let's just say, a foreign election, right? Where let's just say that in this crazy country, somewhere ways off in the wonderlands, right? That they have different means of basically forcing a particular vote tally. because maybe the majority of the population is too busy sleeping or working or doing what they have to do to survive in this just terrible place. And so it's easy for this group to basically fudge with the numbers and make changes and do certain things to basically help whoever they want to be in power take power. And let's just assume that by comparison, they're doing something similar to that to Bitcoin. It could be other countries. It could be, major whales. It could be a conglomerate of all of the above, all working to keep the price down. But there comes a time when the people wake up, rise up, and take action. And it's those times that makes it very difficult for those that are working against the greater good to be able to maintain their momentum. Okay. And I'm not saying when or where, and I'm not even saying that that's 100% what's happening. I'm just saying that there are similarities. There are similar practices and patterns that I'm seeing. And and then when I see narratives like this, I just kind of chuckle and I'm like, okay, where have I seen this kind of shit before? Reserves and stockpiles. Part of this administration's embracing of crypto has been finding ways for the federal government to hold and obtain more digital assets. An executive order from Trump created a strategic Bitcoin reserve, which holds portions of the Bitcoin that was already in the federal government's possession. However, much of this Bitcoin is part of criminal and civil proceedings and not owned by the government. Well, it probably will be. Let's be real. Additionally, in the executive order, he created a national digital asset stockpile that contains some other crypto assets. But while the administration is assessing ways to add to the Bitcoin reserve, it's also looking for ways to potentially sell from the stockpile. Interesting. Among the proposals that have been considered is selling or revaluing the United States gold to finance acquisitions of Bitcoin. This to me this would be bonkers. This would be absolutely bonkers if this actually happened. I don't know how much gold we have at like Fort Knox. I haven't seen any of the audits or any of the numbers. I don't even know if they've concluded anything yet. But to transition out of that gold and into Bitcoin, I believe would be absolutely insane. Pardons and promises. Trump has lived up to at least some of his campaign promises to the crypto industry, including pardoning Dread Pirate Rogers, Ross Ulbricht of the Silk Road infamy. Other promises were never possible to achieve, including that all Bitcoin will be made in America. Oh, man. As publicized, David Sachs, an advisor to the administration, stood alongside various Republican legislators and announced the administration's plan to have both a stablecoin bill and a market structure bill signed into law within the first 100 days. This is what I expect to see in May. This is a part of what I expect to see coming in May. We'll see. Neither bill has been signed yet. No, I don't think any of us expected to see this. I think that when they said the next 100 days, I feel like it was with 100 days from the announcement of the effort, not necessarily the first 100 days of the administration. And I'm thinking that this is where I don't know if they're intentionally fudging the words, but I was always under the impression that it was from the time of like, this is what we're doing, like the roundtable meetings and all of that. So we'll see. But regardless, I'm expecting to see some of that in May. Basically, it just sounds like an attack. I mean, that's basically all this boils down to. It's one bullshit. Where's Solana in the mix of this? I'm shocked to not see like a Solana promotion somewhere. So I don't know, man. I mean, it is what it is, but I wanted to just kind of go over that a little bit and some of the finer points. Looking at Bitcoin on a monthly, we're heading up, and I really do believe we're up only on the monthly candle until we peak out at this point. And, you can see here as normal, I've got my overall Bitcoin prediction happening sometime in October at around $280,000. We'll see. I mean, I've had this up here for I don't know how long. We'll see if we hit it. If I'm right, if I'm wrong, I'm always right sometimes. So I'm not sure. Now, I did change this. This is the M2 money supply. on an 80-day offset. I've been retweeting some of the gentlemen who he works on this on a regular basis, and this does seem to be far more accurate than what was it, 105 or 120 day offset. And you can see, man, I mean, it lines up pretty well. And right now, if this is to hold true, it would look like we might decline a bit from where we're at. Potentially, maybe from Wednesday moving into the weekend, and then hopefully we hit. I would like to see this conclude, and then we start running on a next rally above $100,000 the first week of May. That's what I would like to see. We'll see how it all plays out. But this is basically, I mean, hell, if we were to match this identically, this would put us at $173,000 of Bitcoin in July. Okay. So if this, I mean, you guys know, I projected this 281 in October, long before this whole M2 global money supply narrative even hit the internet. And it's lining up and it's saying, you know what? Yeah, if we're at, because this is my stopgap, or this is my stop date for when I think if Bitcoin were to follow previous cycles to the letter, we would be all the way out here. And if we're at 170 or around 170,000 at this point, with months to go in the run, we could easily hit $280,000 in like this year, easily. So, what does that look like for Cardano? It looks amazing as it pumps right now. It kind of looks like it's building some upward momentum on a 5-minute chart. We're going bold green here, which is really good. That's basically signaling a strong trend change. But again, this is a 5-minute candle, and the volume is not significant, right? So we'll see how this works out. But we've had some pretty solid transitional volume pumps here, which takes us from like red to purple and then from purple to green. So we've already gotten out of that and we're moving green. So maybe we start breaking into the 80-cent range. Now, we've been working a little backwards over this past weekend. Now we're at Monday. We'll see what happens. I always try to point out, typically whatever's going on a Monday, the opposite of that starts to transpire around Wednesday into the weekend, and then the weekend could just go crazy because it's the weekend. So we'll have to see what happens there. But I really want to break above this, and I want to head into the 81, 82 cent range and stay there. This is a 2-day chart. This is a 2-day candle here. And so we're working on it. Like we're building. We whipped all the way down here into the 50 cents back early April, and we've been we've been climbing out of that, fighting resistance along the way. We've got resistance here at around 78 cents. We need to see if we have enough power in Cardano's price movement to break above that into the 80-cent range. And I would love to see us settle somewhere up here in the 85 cent and hold. That would be significant as we head into the month of May, when we've got the midnight drop coming. Basically everybody that holds Cardano is going to get a big fat bag for free. That's going to be big. Nobody knows any of the details yet. I'm waiting. I've been probing. I've been trying to probe Charles. I've been trying to probe Midnight themselves, and everybody's been so tight-lipped. And I'm ready, man. I want to know, like, what are the details? But I know that the majority of the airdrops going to Cardano holders, even though about 37 million people are expecting to get some of these midnight tokens. And I just think that's going to be really, really, really big deal. And then, of course, any policy changes with crypto and the current administration and the Bitcoin OS demonstrations and all of that stuff. May is going to be May Day. I keep saying it, but I think May is going to be huge. Looking at Bitcoin over the counter volume, we've dropped again. We're down to 122,000 Bitcoin sitting on over the counter exchanges. And it's just, we're so ready. Like, we're so ready. This is definitely the moment that many of us have been waiting for. And I really hope this is it. I'm going to tell you guys now, though, and I've been talking to my wife about it. Once this market concludes, I am taking a 2-year break. I'm just letting you guys know. Now, I might do other content So if you just happen to like my personality and you want to watch me, I may very well be starting a new channel about tabletop gaming and things like that, because I'm really getting into like this trench crusade craze that's going on right now. I got my 3D resin printer ready. I'm waiting for some more stuff to show up. I'm going to start printing. I want to start building terrain, and I just want to start doing some more relaxing shit. So I just can't wait for this market to peak out. If it's going to peak out, I just want to get out. I want to pay my damn taxes. I'm going to double, triple check that they were paid this time, so they don't double it on me in a phone call or a series of nasty letters like 4 years later. God, they screwed me so hard. So I'm going to basically do all that. And then I just want to live and I want to focus on health. Like, you know, I really do. I just want to live. I want to enjoy life, and I want to get into really good shape. I really need to focus on all that stuff, but it's just, I'm so bogged down. I'm so stressed out all the time. So that's my plan. Yeah, like if we're looking at liquidity, man, we've got it at both ends, man. This is like a day after eating, like, you know, bad food. And so, you know, I'm watching this just 60 million at around 93. Yeah, we're going to clean this out. I do think we're going to clean this out before we make our final big push up again towards and above 100,000. So that's just what I think is happening, but we'll see. Billy Bolt's, my book, drops in just a matter of days on May 5th. This will release, and you guys will be able to get your print versions of the book. And you can pre-order the ebooks now if you want. And I know I've been getting so many messages about getting signed copies. I need to figure out, you know what I really do? I need to set up a form and then have everybody that wants to buy. What, I don't even know. Tell me what should I charge? Because I don't even know. I don't know like what, because I have to order all these myself. Then I have to like prep them, box them, ship them. Tell me in chat, what should I charge for like signed copies of this? You know, and as long as you're in the US, shipping shouldn't be a problem. Maybe it's a few bucks. I don't really know, $4 or $5 maybe. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think I should do, and then I'll set up a form, maybe a PayPal pre-order or something like that, and then I'll buy them up and then ship them out. That way I have an accurate count and I'm not buying more than I need. But I need some guidance from you guys because I don't know what's fair. Thank you, Crypto Princess. It's very sweet of you. Book plus $10 plus shipping. That sounds fair. Basically like what the print version costs on Amazon plus $10 in shipping. That sounds fair. I think I can wing that. So yeah, let me start addressing comments here. I don't want this video to be super long. Yo, no name. What's going on? If there is no QE, I don't think midnight or whatever upgrade on Cardano matters in price. I have no idea what the midnight price is going to be. I don't know what it's going to settle at. I don't know if people are going to try and hold and dump. My guess is holders of other blockchains are probably going to dump it when they get it. And like Cardano believers are just going to be glad that we have them because we don't know what all's coming. But I do believe that there's a lot of really crazy cool shit coming for midnight, and you're going to want to have your tokens. But that's just my guess. I don't plan on selling my midnight tokens when I get them. I can tell you that. I may even hold on to my midnight tokens through the whole market into 2030. It really just depends. Because I think that a lot of midnight is going to play a really, really big deal with the Bitcoin OS and like all of that that's going to be happening. I think midnight's going to play a really big role because midnight's going to become the privacy layer for Bitcoin too. Don't forget. And very likely other chains like Ripple, XRP, all of that stuff. So yeah, I don't care if there's a big dump, if it starts hitting exchanges and it's like tanking it, you know, while everybody's dumping it. I just think those are going to be the ignorant people that are going to really screw themselves and miss out. Because I don't think that's going to last very long, and we'll get a point where it settles and then just starts moving up. So yeah, I'm excited about midnight. Okay, I don't know. Luigi, nothing. He created only problems. I'm not sure what that's in reference to or who. The new unstaked AI is going to take over the market. Okay. You can't get good stuff cheap. Pay the guys that you know will give you the good stuff. Oh yeah. You guys are referencing. I get what you're saying. You guys are talking about like IOHK and all of that. Yeah. I mean, that's the way I look at it. We wouldn't even be here. And this is the thing. People are wanting to get really stingy with the treasury, which I understand as well, because I wouldn't want to blow through a big treasury of that size. And there needs to be a balance. And I do believe that, and I voted on it. There definitely needs to be a balance that changes year by year based on previous year's inflow. So, because we don't want the token price to suffer because so many people are just dumping their treasury proposal money, you know what I mean, onto the market. That doesn't help anybody. We need to keep a steady balance. It's kind of like the Fed versus, with interest rates and all of that stuff, like treasury bond yields and all that. We need to establish a balance so that the outflow is never hurting the actual value of the tokens themselves. And there's a whole thing to that, but yeah. Oh, that's funny. GBL9, this guy is so delusional, LOL. This channel is great comedy. Bottom line, unless Jerome steps in to save the day, expect markets to tank big time this year. I guess we have somebody new. To some extent, there's some truth to that in terms of like how high we can get, but I also think that's all by design, because I don't even want to get into it because I don't want my channel flagged. But I'll say there's some truth to what you're saying. We need quantitative easing to really kick off, which really sends it. But, the M2 money supply, that's a really big deal as well. And that's already coming into place. And quite honestly, I think that the Fed has already started doing some things. They just haven't announced them yet. I don't think the Fed wants to look like they're doing anything because Trump told them to do it. And so I think they're just trying to pick their time. If Trump would shut up maybe for a little bit, maybe the Fed can just come out and do what they know they need to do. I just don't think anybody wants to feel like they're under the thumb of a new president. $8 to $5 by Thanksgiving is my call. That'd be great because my birthday's in November and I'd love to, I can't believe it. Oh my God, my birthday is going to be in November. It is Monday. Yes, it is Monday. Smart brand shoes. Kmart brand shoes. That's funny. Are you a meme coin trader? Still in a 25x long in ADA at 62 cents. Ooh, buddy, that looks pretty. That looks good. That looks good. Money May, baby. We're going up. Yeah, I hope so. I expect to. May Day is right. And Chef, I just forwarded a bunch of emails to you today. After midnight, we gonna let it all hang out. We gonna let it all hang out. Sell in May and walk away. We'll see if that's true. The market has changed so much. I'm not really sure. But I always feel like there's a narrative to sell in May at some point. So we'll see. But I'm not selling until I think the market has actually peaked. Crow's next talk show. No, I mean, I have a real passion for tabletop gaming, man. I really do. And not just the competition of it, but the creativity behind it and actually painting miniatures. And I really like 3D printing stuff. And then you know what it is? I love bringing life to something. And that's what I feel like I'm doing. I feel like when I know I'm going to be playing a game, I have to paint. I have to paint the models. I have to bring the models to life. And I have to and then I have to put them to work and put them to action. There's just some weird thing in my brain that I get off on that. I love it. I love bringing life into stuff. And the more life I can bring into this experience, the more exciting it is. That's why I want to get into the like terrain and like creating really cool terrain environments to actually play these games on. I've done some of that in the past. But I'm just like, the only thing is like this Trench Crusade game is so dark. I mean, it's so dark. When I was seeing all this buzz about it on YouTube, and I'm like, no, I'm not touching that. That's just too much. But the more I learn about the gameplay and the rules and how they've really answered a lot of problems associated with like the game rules, like with Warhammer 40K, you know, you don't have to roll 50 gazillion dice, and you know, like it's very balanced and very structured, but very strategic. And the lore of it though is so grim, dark, and just it's one of those things that I'm having to overcome feeling kind of like guilty by being intrigued by the game. It sounds so creepy. It sounds so weird, but it's true. Here's the thing about me. Like the truth is like when I play like MMO games and stuff like that, like I like being like the gnome. I like being things that are the opposite of me because it gives me a chance to kind of express that in a safe way. So when I play these tabletop games, you know, I don't mind like I'm going to be painting up the Black Grail for a Trench Crusade. And then I have the Trench Pilgrims also. So I've got the good guys, and then I've got the really dastardly guy. I just really want to paint them. It's like in 40K, I have the Adeptus Mechanicus. So I've got an army in that. I've never even played that game still. I've had those models for years. And then the Death Guard, which are right behind me, which you guys can't see, but I've got them all up on a shelf. And, you know, some of them are like 80% painted. Some of them I haven't painted much yet. And then I just bought the whole faction of Troll Blood, Southern Creole trolls with War Machine. Because honestly, I want to open a game store. Like that's how I want to retire. I want to open a tabletop gaming store. I've already got the website built. I've got it named, and that's what I want to do. And honestly, I want to shoot content from the store. So I want to create really badass terrain. Like I'll probably even commission some like really sick terrain builders to build terrain for my shop. That's how much I love that stuff. Yeah, Eldritch, it's sick, man. I mean, it's just so good. Charge 1 Bitcoin. That's funny. Crow, I'd love to have those in our bookstore. Please reach out. We're 2 hours south from Tampa. Dragon's Den Books. If you're 2 hours south of Tampa, you're probably really close to me. Very interesting. I'm gonna have to look you up. Dragon's Den Books. I'm gonna write that down. I'll check you out. So yeah, I'm actually working on a tabletop version of a game for Billy Boltz, the Billy Boltz world. Dragon's Den Books. Because I want to create a game. I want to create a game that kids, like young adults who are like in the reader age of the books, I want to create a game that's like small and miniature that they can play during like their lunch hour and cafeteria. And like just be exposed to like tabletop strategy type stuff. So yeah, another passion project, another thing. $20, $45 total. That sounds like a lot. That's $45 sounds like a lot. Maybe we'll find a happy medium in there. Like I want everyone to have a copy of the book. And if they really want, I mean, it's only going to be, is this the Kindle edition? Yeah, that's the Kindle edition. I'm not even sure. I don't even think they've listed the print version yet. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'll figure it out though. I do appreciate the feedback on that. Agree. Projects should be paid in stages. 100%. If you want treasury money, you've got to be accountable for what you're able to accomplish. And if you're not meeting milestones with proof of them, I just don't think you deserve additional funding. You got to figure it out on your own. And then maybe once you get things caught up to the certain point, then maybe you get an additional round of funding. Like there needs to be a better way to address that stuff rather than just everybody and their brother coming and saying, I need a whole bunch of money, give it to me. And then let's hope for the best. I'm done with that shit. In its entirety, I'm done doing that. I don't know, JC, if I doubt it. I doubt a part of the treasury is going to the US stockpile. It could, but I highly doubt that. I haven't heard or seen anything related to anything like that. Is it safe to stake ADA through Ledger? Yeah. I don't see why it wouldn't be. A Crow live stream, hell yeah. Crow, you're a legend. Well, thank you. I feel legendary in that I'm old. I'm old. I'm an old man trying so hard to maintain my youth in all ways. I don't know if I've reached the point of like midlife crisis yet. I've had some of the fun cars and all that. Now I'm at a point where I just don't care about that shit. I just want my home to be nice and everyone safe. I'm more about like security nowadays. I'm more about just I'm very much more about just like experiences. That's kind of where my head's at anymore. And I've been watching a lot of David Goggins stuff. I just watched Israel Adesanya train throw up like 15 times with David Goggins, taking him through a workout. And I'm like, I've got to get to a point where I've got to get more active. I've just got to get more active. That's really all there is to it. But it's really, really difficult for me to focus on that stuff when I'm so bogged down by all the shit I've got going on in the crypto space. So, yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to call it here. And I just basically want to say hi on a Monday. I mean, I think Mondays or May is going to be great. I mean, we'll see, unless there's some big orchestrated narrative to try and suppress everything the way they have been. We'll see. The world is crazy. So, until next time, thanks for joining me, folks. Grow your coins, and I'll see you again real soon.